In this video, I'm going to explain what logistics actually is, what you do in the job, and how it can lead to a high-paying career, even if you have no experience. I've been in supply chain and procurement for nearly 30 years. I've worked across industries, across continents, with companies that move billions of dollars worth of goods every single day. Everything I'll teach you here is based on the systems I've built, the shipments I've tracked, and the supply chains I've had to keep running when everything seemed to go wrong. Most people think logistics is just moving boxes around, but it's not. Moving boxes is just one piece. Logistics is the master plan that makes sure everything gets where it needs to be, when it needs to be there, and in perfect condition. Let me give you an analogy that'll make this crystal clear. Think about planning a wedding for 300 people. You're not just booking a venue and hoping for the best. You're coordinating dozens of moving pieces months in advance. The flowers need to arrive the morning of the wedding, but not too early, or they're going to wilt. The caterer needs the final head count 2 weeks before, but the tables and chairs need to be set up the night before. The band needs to arrive after the ceremony, but before cocktail hour. The photographer needs to be there 2 hours early for prep shots. But here's the procurement connection that most people miss. Before any of this coordination can happen, someone had to select and negotiate contracts with the venue, florist, caterer, band, and photographer. That's where procurement comes in, deciding who to work with and on what terms. Then logistics executes the plan by coordinating the timing, delivery, and setup. That's logistics. It's the art and science of coordinating time, space, resources, and money so everything comes together perfectly. One late delivery, one missed connection, and the whole event falls apart. When I was working on major supply chain projects at companies like ABN AMRO, yes, a bank, but banks have supply chains, and in pharmaceuticals, I realized that logistics professionals are basically the wedding planners of the business world. Except instead of one wedding, you're coordinating hundreds of events every single day, and each one depends on procurement decisions made weeks or months earlier. Here's what fascinates me about logistics and supply chain work. Every single thing you touch today, your phone, your coffee, your clothes, even the chair you're sitting in, had to travel through a logistics network to get to you. Someone had to plan that journey, coordinate those handoffs, and solve problems along the way. You became the person who makes modern life possible. When you optimize a delivery route, you're not just saving money, you're getting medicine to hospitals faster, food to families sooner, and products to customers when they need them most. But here's where it gets interesting. Logistics is actually just one part of a bigger picture called supply chain management. Think of it this way. Your supply chain is the entire circulatory system of business. Procurement is the brain that decides what needs to flow through the system. And logistics is the heart that pumps everything through. Now, before we dive deeper into what you actually do day to day, let me share something that might help. At CourseCareers, we have 2 supply chain courses designed to get you hired without experience or a college degree. One is our supply chain coordinator course, which focuses heavily on logistics operations. The other is our procurement course, which I personally teach and focuses on the selection of the right suppliers, buying, and the supplier relationship side. Just recently, I had a message from Alex, who completed our procurement and supply chain course. He said, I finished procurement and supply chain and I've been applying and updating my resume. I just wanted to share that I was interviewed and offered a logistics coordinator position at $71,000 per year, and I'm in talks about taking a manager role instead. I just wanted to send a quick thank you message. This shows you how these fields connect. Skills in one often transfer to opportunities in another. Both courses are available at CourseCareers. You can try them free, and there's a link in the description for $50 off if you decide to upgrade. Let me tell you about myself so you understand how I got into this world. I started with nothing, $1,000 and a green card when I moved to the US. I worked whatever jobs I could find to get to the US after getting my degrees and masters, data entry, assembling machines, even charity work. But I was always fascinated by how things worked, how they moved, how businesses made decisions, competed, and operated behind the scenes. When I discovered supply chain and procurement at ABN AMRO Bank, operating out of Chicago, I realized I'd found my calling. These weren't just jobs. They were the invisible systems that make everything else possible. Over the next few years, my salary jumped over 570% as I mastered these systems and helped companies run more efficiently. What I learned is that procurement and logistics are inseparable. They are part of the bigger supply chain system. Every logistics challenged I solved was directly connected to a procurement decision someone had made earlier. The supplier we chose, the contract terms we negotiated, the delivery requirements we specified, all of these procurement choices shaped the logistics complexity we had to manage. Now, let me clear up something that confuses many people. Logistics and procurement often went in hand, but they're fundamentally different. Here's the easiest way to think about it. Procurement is deciding what you need to buy and who to buy it from. Logistics is figuring out how to get it from where it is and where it needs to be. Going back to our wedding analogy, procurement is choosing the florist, negotiating the price and contract terms, and deciding what flowers you want. Logistics is making sure those flowers get picked up from the florist, transported safely to the venue so that they don't spoil, and arranged exactly where they need to be at exactly the right time. In a restaurant, procurement helps to establish the menu and the ingredients, decides which food suppliers to use, negotiates the prices and delivery terms, and manages the supplier relationships and performance. Logistics makes sure the ingredients arrive fresh, on schedule, and get stored properly so the kitchen can serve customers without running out. Both are critical, both require strategic thinking. They solve different problems in the supply chain puzzle. And here's the key insight. The best logistics professionals understand procurement. Best procurement professionals understand logistics. Let me walk you through what you actually do as a logistics professional, because this is where the job gets really interesting. Your day starts with visibility, knowing where everything is and where it's supposed to be going. You're tracking shipments, monitoring delivery schedules, and identifying potential problems before they become disasters. Modern logistics runs on data, so you're constantly analyzing performance metrics and looking for patterns. Next, you're coordinating handoffs. A shipment might travel by truck, then train, then ship, then truck again. Each handoff is a risk point where things can go wrong. You make sure information flows smoothly between carriers, that documentation is correct, and that everyone knows their role in the chain. You're also solving problems in real time. Truck breaks down, port gets congested, a warehouse runs out of space. These things happen constantly. Your job is to find alternatives, reroute shipments, and keep everything moving with minimal disruption. Route optimization is another significant part of the role. You're constantly looking for more efficient ways to move goods. Can you combine shipments to save costs? Is there a faster route? Can you negotiate better rates with carriers? These decisions directly impact the bottom line. Finally, you're managing relationships with carriers, warehouse operators, customs brokers, and internal teams. Logistics is fundamentally about people working together to move physical goods through complex networks. But here's what's crucial to understand. Every logistics decision you make is constrained by procurement decisions that were made earlier. The supplier is chosen, the contract terms negotiated, the delivery requirements specified. These all determine your logistics options. What most people don't realize is how much logistics costs impact everything we buy. For many products, logistics represents 10 to 15% of the final price. For heavy or bulky items, it can be even higher. This means that when you optimize logistics operations, you're directly affecting profitability. Reduce transportation costs by 5%, and that savings can go straight to the bottom line. Improve delivery speed, and you can charge premium prices. Reduce damage rates, and you eliminate costly returns and replacements. During COVID, we saw what happens when logistics networks break down. Empty shelves, delayed deliveries, skyrocketing shipping costs. Companies with robust logistics networks and contingency plans survived. Those without struggled or failed. I've seen logistics improvements save companies millions of dollars annually. I've also seen logistics failures cost companies their reputation, customer relationships almost overnight. To understand the field better, let's break down the main types of logistics you might work with. Inbound logistics is about getting raw materials and supplies to your facilities. Outbound logistics focuses on getting finished products to customers. Reverse logistics handles returns, repairs, and recycling. Third-party logistics, or 3PL, is when companies outsource their logistics operations to specialists. Let me show you exactly how you can grow in logistics, because the opportunities are extensive. At entry level, you might start as a logistics coordinator or supply chain analyst. typically earning $45,000 to $60,000. At the mid-level, you become a logistics manager or supply chain specialist, usually earning $65,000 to $85,000. In senior roles, you might become a director of logistics or a supply chain manager, typically earning $85,000 to $120,000. At the executive level, you could become VP of supply chain or chief logistics officer, often earning $150,000 to $300,000 or more. Now, if you're interested in the strategic side, making the buying decisions that shape logistics complexity, procurement offers even higher earning potential. Entry-level procurement roles typically start at $55,000 to $75,000, with senior roles reaching $200,000 to $300,000 or more. Here's what's great about logistics. You don't need an engineering degree or deep technical background to get started. You need organizational skills, problem-solving ability, and the capacity to work under pressure when things go wrong. Companies are desperate for people who can think clearly about operational challenges, communicate effectively across different teams and time zones. If you can coordinate complex projects and stay calm when facing multiple urgent challenges, you can succeed in logistics. The career path is strong, from coordinator to executive level, and you don't need a degree to start. You need organizational skills, problem-solving ability, and the resilience to handle operational challenges. If logistics interests you, I encourage you to check out our supply chain coordinator course at CourseCareers. It's designed specifically to get you hired in logistics and supply chain roles without prior experience. But also consider our procurement course, which I personally teach. Understanding both logistics and procurement makes you incredibly valuable because you see how buying decisions affect operational complexity and costs. Many of the highest paid supply chain professionals have experience in both areas. Both courses are available at CourseCareers. You can try them for free to see which path resonates with you. There's a link in the description and you'll get $50 off if you choose to upgrade. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Every successful logistics professional started exactly where you are right now. The question isn't whether you're qualified, it's whether you're ready to start learning how to make the world's supply chains run more smoothly. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.